On today's Mortal Kombat News MashUp, we finally get new details about the next installment in the Mortal Kombat Legends animated movie franchise cage match. Mortal Kombat could be taking notes from The Last of Us, and get ready to test your might as official dates have been announced for the Mortal Kombat 1 stress test. That and more. With filming and production for the Mortal Kombat movie sequel underway, a lot of fans are getting excited. There's been cast posting stuff on Instagram, the actor who plays Jax, stuff about Liu Kang, all that kind of good stuff. Well, we have Lewis Tan kind of throwing something in the mix that we really didn't expect, but with the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay trailer being announced at Summer Game Fest, he kind of got excited and thought to himself, what would you guys think about a Kenshi solo film? Well, he says in a tweet, imagine a Kenshi film that follows his story but done in the style of John Wick meets Rurouni Kenshin meets Night Comes For Us. Shot on anamorphics with no stunt double and long-ass action sequences with few cuts. So, as we've discussed in previous videos, there have been talks supposedly about after the Mortal Kombat movie sequel, there could be spin-offs. We talked about a Sonya spin-off, with the Special Forces, but why not have something with Kenshi? Now, if you're not familiar with Kenshi's story, according to his Mortal Kombat wiki, Kenshi Takashi is a rogue swordsman of Euro-Asian heritage who possesses psychokinetic powers and nurses a bitter hatred for the evil sorcerer named Shang Tsung, whose deceit had resulted in Kenshi's living. Since debuting in 2002's Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, he is persistently featured in the series storyline by freeing Ermac from Outworld Emperor Shao Kahn's control, joining the Special Forces along Jax and Sonya Blade, and seeking to bring down Mavado and his Dread Dragon faction, in addition to associating with the likes of Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage. He's also the father of Takeda Takashi, who is playable in MKX. Now, we've seen Kenshi's story kind of play out already in Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind, the animated movie, where he is not blind in the beginning and he is in the pursuit of a good challenge and finds his way to Shang Tsung, who deceits him, blinds him, and then he runs into Sento, and then he gets his revenge on Shang Tsung and Kano and the Red Dragon faction, or the Black Dragons in that movie. But all that kind of stuff is kind of already played out. So would we want to have a live-action spin-off of him? I think that'd be something that we'd kind of want to see. I think having the idea of having Mortal Kombat Legends spin-offs of side stories of heroes that maybe are in the movie or that we might interact with in future movies doesn't seem like a bad idea. I think Kenshi's a popular character, so I think it would probably be warranted. Now, who would play him? Lewis Tan himself thought maybe that fans thought he could play him, saying, not me as Kenshi, guys, although I'd love to play him in a live-action film. One of my favorite characters, and my sword has been sharpened and ready. So many moves I haven't gotten to show you on screen yet. Hashtag Mortal Kombat 1. So I think while he is already a character in the movie with him being Cole Young, a descendant of Scorpion, I think he's good to go as far as future films and doesn't really need to be Kenshi. But since he is, likes him as a character and wants to play him, maybe someday he could. Now, there have been, fan casting in the past with Keanu Reeves. There have been fan pictures that have been posted of him from Cyberpunk, with the Kenshi sword and bandana over his eye. And then you also have Keanu Reeves in the 47 Ronin. So aside from that, I think his job in John Wick, all those movies kind of together, including the way he was with Neo in The Matrix, I think Keanu Reeves would be the perfect casting for Kenshi. It almost seems like too perfect. And I think that given the age that he's at, I think if you took it from the perspective of we meet Kenshi having this long history with characters that have already been in the movie establishment, I think it sounds perfect. Well, let me know your thoughts and comments below. What do you think about having a supposed Kenshi side spinoff for the Mortal Kombat movies? So keeping up with some MK movie news, let's talk about the new updates for the Mortal Kombat anime movie MK Legends Cage Match. So Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match was actually first announced 8 months ago at New York City Comic Con. And I even covered it in a video, and it's been kind of quiet since that announcement. But now we have Dominic, I hope I'm going to probably butcher his last name, Cianciolo or Cianciolo, however you pronounce his name. He actually tweeted recently on June 12th, now if we could just get a cage match released, hashtag Mortal Kombat, retweeting a picture of someone who actually got a crew shirt for the movie Cage Match. So I think that's great because it's been kind of quiet, and I'm a fan of the Mortal Kombat Legends movies, so I want to see more from that franchise. Well, a couple days later, IGN has gifted us with exclusive details for the voice cast, characters, and the plot for the movie. So as far as notable voice casts, we have Joel McHale returning as Johnny Cage, Jennifer Grey, yes, Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller is going to be in the movie playing herself, possibly Johnny's love interest or co-star. I'm imagining something to do with Hollywood. We have the late Gilbert Gottfried is going to be in the movie, and Mad TV's Phil Lamar is in the movie as well, and he's been a voice actor for many things. So those are some notable cast members. As far as characters, this is where it gets really interesting. So we've got Kia, Jitaka, Ashra, Raiden, and Shinnok. Those are really the characters so far. But given the first two and then Shinnok being in the mix, all right, so we got some, Red Brotherhood Shadows stuff going on. Possibly even appearance for the Pyramid of Shinnok, maybe, since it's going to supposedly take place in Hollywood and Netherrealm. So let's dive into the plot. So it says, according to the official plot synopsis, Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match is a period piece set in both Hollywood and the Netherrealm. Neon lights, suits with shoulder pads, jumping from explosions in slow motion, and 1980s Hollywood action star Johnny Cage, played by Joe McGill, is looking to become an A-list actor. But when his co-star Jennifer Grey goes missing from set, Johnny finds himself thrust into a world filled with shadows, danger, and deceit. As he embarks on a bloody journey, Johnny quickly discovers the City of Angels has more than a few devils in its midst. He faces off against a sinister secret society plotting a nefarious scheme, but the brutal fight against the bloodthirsty warriors of the Netherrealm is just the beginning. Can Johnny, alongside the other combat legends, save humanity and, more importantly, his career? So I like that. I like that these stories are kind of set to the side. They're not, supposedly always going to be in continuity with each other, but, interesting that we're going to go back in time to the 80s. This takes place during the 80s, I guess, if I'm taking that literally. So that'd be kind of cool. And I'm really kind of interested to see how he is a centralized focused. We had the Sub-Zero mythologies where he kind of already Sub-Zero interacted with a lot of these characters, and given that Sub-Zero was in the last movie predominantly, they're moving on to something different. So it'll be interesting, and it's good to see Shinnok back, possibly it's a totally different story. So sometimes I think, how can you have him but not Quan Chi? But, we'll see. We'll wait to see if there's any Easter eggs and other characters that pop up. But are you excited for MK Legends Cage Match? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, let's talk about how Mortal Kombat could be taking after The Last of Us. So in a recent interview with Games Radar, Ed Boon talked about NetherRealm Studios' reasoning behind naming Mortal Kombat 12 Mortal Kombat 1, and also how The Last of Us has kind of served as an inspiration when it comes to naming conventions. So he says in the interview, there's a big number 1 in the title. If a player was looking at Mortal Kombat 11 and thinking to themselves, I've missed the first 10, I can't jump into this one, then yeah, maybe this one is a better game to onboard new players with. The fact is, we are telling a new story, literally from the big bang of this universe. It's a new story that we're creating. He goes on to say, if we did another game in this lineage of Mortal Kombat games, I think I'd want to call it Mortal Kombat 2. We could do part 1 or part 2 like The Last of Us does. We certainly will not call it Mortal Kombat 13. Now, this is not the first time that The Last of Us and Mortal Kombat have had some type of relations with each other, because in the recent HBO series Last of Us, Mortal Kombat was kind of popped up throughout the series as Easter eggs as far as shirts, video games, as far as an arcade. So there's kind of this relationship going on with the two IPs. Now, I think while we're also kind of, at this point, already used to Mortal Kombat 1 going forward, I think it's kind of a good point to put, we're going to just do like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 and kind of replace the ones of old, because we have Mortal Kombat as the OG, and then we have Mortal Kombat 1. So it's kind of somewhat differentiating from each other. But if you start doing 2 and 3, it kind of overlaps with the previous. So I think having part 2 and part 3 isn't that bad, but I think when you do that, you're kind of assuming that you're going to have a continuity in story. So I hope that Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios team keeps that in mind, because that's what my expectations would be if I saw a Mortal Kombat part 2, going forward. I would expect that whatever happens in the Mortal Kombat 1 continues in the next one. So, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Do you think about the naming convention? Do you think it should be Mortal Kombat 13, Mortal Kombat 2, or Mortal Kombat Part 2? And finally, let's talk about the opportunity we've all been waiting for to test our might with the Mortal Kombat 1 stress test. Yesterday, the Mortal Kombat Twitter page officially announced that, don't hold back, the Mortal Kombat 1 online server stress test will go live from June 23rd to June 26th. Invites will be emailed to selected players on June 21st. Of course, you can go to the GameFAQs for more information. And it says, create in peace, content creators. Anyone receiving access to the stress test is permitted to stream and create video content. So that's good for people like me and for people that use Twitch and YouTube and anywhere else you stream content. I signed up for the stress test. I don't know if I'll actually get selected. I predominantly play on console, so if they're doing any type of PlayStation testing or Xbox, then maybe I'll be one of the lucky ones picked. I don't, if you're doing PC, maybe. I don't remember if they're doing PC in this testing. I think it was for more console, but maybe they are. Maybe I'm just going to do all 3 of them. I don't know if they're doing Switch stress testing, but I think it'd be cool to get to experience that. I know the whole point of this is to test servers and make sure that you have all these people playing at once throughout a continuity of time. That's the word of the day, guys, if you haven't heard in this video, continuity. You have all these people playing consistently throughout these days. Can the servers handle the load? And so it's cool that they're opening up to the community, you know, community with the K, and letting players get to kind of get a demo taste of Mortal Kombat 1 while also helping the developers, you know, make sure that the game is ready to go come September. So if you haven't signed up for the stress test, you still have some time, so make sure you do it, and hopefully you'll be selected. Maybe we'll all be one of the lucky few that get selected on June 21st. So what do you think about the news from today? What do you think about Louis Tan's suggestion for a Kenshi spin-off film for the live-action Mortal Kombat movie franchise? What do you think about Mortal Kombat Legends cage match? What do you think about the naming convention supposedly going to be taken from The Last of Us with Mortal Kombat 1 going to Mortal Kombat Part 2? And are you ready for the stress test? Love your thoughts in the comments down below. That's it for this video, guys. Make sure that like button. If you want more subs to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the mashup.